It is almost time for your closing, and you're wondering, how long is it going to take? Well, today we're going to talk about how long real estate closings take. I'm Tiffany Weber. I'm a real estate lawyer in North Carolina, and having done thousands of real estate closings by now, I have a pretty good idea of how long it takes. And if you're closing in my office, the answer is between 45 minutes to an hour. So yes, that is the answer to your question. That's how long real estate closings take. But not all closings are one size fits all. They're not all created equal. So I've been in closings that took as little as 5 minutes. I've been in closings that took longer than an hour. And there are lots of things that go into how long a closing takes. And in my opinion, the number one thing that influences the length of a closing is whether the documents are being explained to the parties as they're being signed or not. And if the answer is no, the closing is going to take a lot less time. But the danger in that is that the parties may walk out of the closing not knowing what they just signed or why it matters. So that's why in our office, closings take between 45 minutes to an hour, because as you're signing, we're explaining in simple terms what the documents are, what the effects are, what they mean, so that people can feel comfortable when they walk out, that they know what they just signed. Now, if you have a very experienced buyer, or maybe a cash buyer, again, who's done this plenty of times, they may not need the explanations. They probably could explain it better than a lot of attorneys could at this point. So you can see those closings take a very short amount of time. A cash closing, the buyer is going to come in and sign very little paperwork. There's 2 to 3 documents at most, and then they're going to be on about their day. Sometimes the buyers don't even have to come to closing when they're paying cash. But another thing that influences how long the closing takes is how many documents you have to sign. So regardless of whether the documents are being explained or not, if you have 40 documents to sign versus 5 documents to sign, the closing package that has 40 documents to sign is going to take longer just from physically having to go through every document and sign each one. The amount of documents contained in a closing package are influenced by a lot of things. 1, whether the purchase is cash or has a loan. 2, whether the lender is a big bank or a private lender. And 3, even from institutional lenders to other banks, even their loan packages can be shorter or longer. So for example, some local lenders have electronic closing packages where most of the documents are signed electronically and don't have to be signed in person, while other lenders, the entirety of the loan package has to be signed physically at the settlement appointment. Now, if you're someone who wants to be able to read everything in detail, that is good. That's wonderful. You should. One thing that's going to make closing day more efficient for you and for the attorneys, because remember, we do have appointment times set off, ask for the closing documents in advance. You can read them. You'll have much more time to go through them if you ask for them in advance. You can read them at your own pace, somewhere that you can take notes. But if you come to my office and you need to read all the documents, we will be happy to put you in a conference room so that you can take a couple hours to do that. It will take you a couple hours to do that. So if you're doing the skim thing, trust me, I know you're not actually reading. You just want to feel like you are. So if you want to read, just let someone know in advance so that can be taken care of and you have all the time that you need to do that. Another thing that can influence the length of time that a closing takes is the amount of questions that the parties have. I do not know many real estate attorneys who would be upset if the buyers ask questions about what's going on, because that's a chance for us to nerd out a little bit and talk to you about real estate law, because we don't get our spouses don't want to talk to us about it. I can promise you that. So it gives us a chance to talk to you and explain things and share a little bit of what we have learned. So if you have questions, this is the perfect time to ask. We don't want you to get in the car and drive home and start unpacking the kitchen and say, I had all these questions and I really was uncomfortable with asking. So just ask us. It does not matter if it adds a little bit of time onto your closing. It is worth it so that you feel more comfortable with what's going on. And the last thing that I've seen that can influence the amount of time a closing takes is how hungry the buyers are. So if you are really hungry and you did not eat breakfast or lunch, You're probably going to be signing faster. I highly recommend that you eat something first so that your stomach's not growling the whole time. This is an important appointment. Let's not rush it. In fact, maybe we should just set up a snack bar in the office so that people aren't thinking too much about lunch. That is it. Subscribe to the channel so you can see more videos like this one where we explain real estate law topics. Again, I'm Tiffany Weber, real estate lawyer in the Lake Norman area of North Carolina, and I'll see you in the next video.